Today, we embark on a journey of exploration that transcends traditional boundaries and invites us to view heaven and hell as profound states of consciousness rather than mere physical places. We often think of heaven as a distant realm of eternal peace and joy, and hell as a torturous domain reserved for punishment. However, many thinkers throughout history have suggested that these are not external destinations, but internal experiences shaped by our thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. In this video, we will delve into how our state of mind can create what we perceive as heaven or hell. We will discuss how everyday moments of clarity, bliss, and serenity can mirror the beauty of heaven, while periods of overwhelming despair and suffering echo the troubled landscapes of hell. This exploration is both creative and introspective, offering a fresh perspective that draws upon cultural narratives, historical accounts, scientific insights, and personal experiences. Our aim is not to dismiss the historical beliefs associated with these concepts, but to expand them to include the fascinating realm of consciousness. By the end of this video, you may find that the boundaries between the celestial and the infernal blur, and that the key to a more fulfilling life lies in understanding and nurturing our inner world. So get ready to challenge your preconceptions and reconsider what it truly means to experience heaven or hell. We invite you to relax, reflect, and open your mind as we embark on this creative journey through the corridors of the human spirit. Let the exploration begin as we uncover the layers that separate these states of being and reveal their true significance for our lives. With this approach, we invite a renewed understanding that challenges old dogmas and offers fresh insights into our internal universes and explore deeply. Many ancient traditions envisioned heaven and hell as literal, distant realms. In classical mythology and religious scriptures, descriptions of these places were vivid narratives that served to inspire moral behavior and reinforce societal values. The medieval imagination painted heaven as a luminous paradise and hell as a terrifying abyss, each crafted to symbolize the ultimate rewards or punishments for human actions. Over centuries, these depictions have permeated literature, art, and folklore, becoming an integral part of our collective consciousness. As civilizations evolved, scholars and theologians began to re-examine these symbols. They questioned whether such places existed outside our inner lives, or if they were metaphors for our spiritual experiences. Turning inward, these thinkers proposed that heaven and hell might be reflections of our internal states. The joyful serenity of a clear mind mirrored heaven, while the chaos of negative emotions evoked the despair of hell. This reinterpretation is evident in various philosophical traditions that emphasize introspection, self-awareness, and the transformative power of the human spirit. The narrative of an inner heaven as a state of enlightenment and inner peace resonates with Eastern philosophies like Buddhism, while Western mystical traditions also offer analogous views relating to human consciousness. By reinterpreting these age-old symbols, we find that the journey towards personal fulfillment and inner balance is a timeless quest. Today, we acknowledge that cultural stories not only shape our understanding of morality, but also unravel deeper insights into the workings of our minds. Through historical context, we learn that these symbolic realms are not confined to ancient texts, but continue to evolve in the modern quest for meaning. This rich tapestry of ideas encourages us to see beauty and caution in the legacy of human thought. These reflections remind us that our cultural heritage remains intertwined with our personal journey towards self-discovery. At its core, consciousness is the lens through which we interpret the reality around us. Much like a painter uses colors to create a masterpiece, our minds combine thoughts, feelings, and perceptions to construct a personal universe. In considering heaven and hell as states of consciousness, we are invited to view these realms as symbolic of the internal experiences that shape every moment of our lives. When our minds are clear and our hearts are open, we create a space that mirrors the harmony and beauty traditionally associated with heaven. Conversely, when fear, anger, or sorrow dominate our mental landscape, we inadvertently create a personal hell where negativity thrives. This internal dynamic is supported by both psychological insights and spiritual traditions. Psychologically, the exploration of states of consciousness reveals that our brains can adopt patterns that either enhance our well-being or catalyze stress and suffering. Neurological research shows that positive emotions can release chemicals that foster happiness and clarity, while persistent negative states can alter neural pathways, making it easier to slip into cycles of despair. On a spiritual level, many ancient teachings encourage us to look within, to understand that the divine and the damned are ultimately realms of the self. The narrative of inner transformation is a recurring theme across different cultures, advocating that a shift in perspective can change the entire quality of existence. Philosophers argue that what we experience as reality is not a fixed external environment, but a fluid creation emerging from our mental and emotional states. Thus, the debate is not whether heaven or hell exists in a literal sense, but how we might harness the power of our consciousness to create experiences reflective of our deepest aspirations or fears. This understanding empowers us to take responsibility for our internal states, recognizing that every thought and emotion plays a critical role in sculpting our day-to-day reality, inviting us to choose wisely the realms we cultivate within. By embracing this deeper understanding of our mental landscape, we recognize that every state holds transformative power, much like an artist crafting beauty from chaos. Allowing ourselves to explore both the illumination of inner peace and the shadow of despair reveals that each experience contributes to the masterpiece of our lives. In doing so, we become active creators of our reality, molding our internal cosmos with each thought and emotion. Imagine a state of being where tranquility reigns supreme, where clarity and love fill every corner of the mind. This heavenly state reflects the experience of inner peace and profound joy, akin to gazing upon a serene sky dotted with soft, luminescent clouds. In moments when the mind is uncluttered by worry or regret, we encounter sensations that many describe as divine. Research in psychology suggests that cultivating gratitude, compassion, and mindfulness lights up neural pathways associated with happiness and balance. As the heart opens, negative emotions diminish, replaced by a warm, radiant sense of well-being. Personal stories from individuals who have experienced recovery from depression or deep emotional pain often speak of entering an inner space that feels nothing short of celestial bliss. Ancient meditation practices, too, have long proposed that by quieting the noise of everyday life, one taps into a reservoir of inner light. Artistic expressions, whether through gentle music, poetry, or visual art, have been known to evoke this ethereal state by channeling the deeper parts of our consciousness. Within this inner heaven, imagination blossoms, and potential seems limitless, offering a sanctuary from the turbulence of the external world. It is in this space that creativity flourishes and the soul finds rest. Attaining this state requires both discipline and surrender, a harmonious balance between active introspection and allowing oneself to simply be. Many traditions encourage practices that calm the mind, emphasizing that repeated exposure to moments of serenity gradually rewires our mental architecture. This alignment not only enhances personal contentment, but also contributes to a broader sense of connection with everything around us. As you consider the possibility of creating your own inner heaven, remember that it is not reserved for a select few, but is accessible to anyone willing to embark on the journey inward. Embrace each small moment of joy and serenity as stepping stones toward this higher state of consciousness, and watch as your internal landscape transforms into a radiant haven. Living in this inner paradise, we find that our external world also begins to reflect the peace we cultivate within. The soft glow of our spirit touches interactions, decisions, and our very outlook on life. Every deliberate act of kindness and self-care strengthens this heavenly state, reminding us that inner beauty radiates outward. In embracing these moments, we unlock a wellspring of joy that fuels our journey towards a state of inner bliss. In contrast to the gentle light of inner heaven, the state we label as hell can be a turbulent realm marked by intense emotional turmoil. This inner hell is not a place of physical fire and brimstone, but the result of chaotic thoughts, deep-seated fears, and unresolved pain. When our minds are overwhelmed by stress, anger, or sorrow, our internal environment turns harsh and unforgiving. In these moments, the energy within us vibrates at frequencies that echo despair and isolation. Psychological studies confirm that chronic negative emotions can create self-perpetuating cycles of anxiety and depression, reinforcing an internal state that feels like incarceration. Cultural depictions of hell often dramatize these experiences, using vivid imagery to warn against the dangers of unchecked negativity. Yet, within these narratives lies a powerful metaphor. The hell we experience is a mirror, reflecting the unresolved shadows of our inner world. Various therapeutic approaches aim to help individuals recognize and understand the origins of such inner suffering. By bringing light to these dark corners, one can begin the process of healing and integration. Many have discovered that by confronting these painful emotions rather than suppressing them, we empower ourselves to dissolve the boundaries of our inner prison. Spiritual traditions also offer pathways to navigate these storms, suggesting that acknowledging our suffering is the first step toward liberation. Through practices like shadow work, mindfulness, and journaling, one can gradually transform inner turmoil into a catalyst for personal growth. The journey through inner hell is not one to be feared, but understood as a necessary passage that enriches our overall experience of life. Recognizing the transient nature of these low states encourages compassion towards oneself and others. Ultimately, the challenge lies in transforming these dark energies into lessons that illuminate and strengthen our resolve, allowing us to emerge on the other side with a more resilient and compassionate heart. Exploring this inner hell further, we find moments when our minds are engulfed in self-doubt and regret, creating an inner landscape that feels as desolate as a barren wasteland. Yet even within these harsh conditions, there is an opportunity for awareness and growth. By acknowledging and confronting our darkest emotions, we pave the way for transformation and a more authentic, liberated self. As we navigate these inner depths, remember that facing our demons is not an end, but a beginning, an opening to greater self-understanding and renewal. Embrace your journey. Exploring these internal realms requires practical techniques that connect us with our inner self. Mindfulness and meditation practices create an environment where the mind can quiet and reflect, allowing both heavenly clarity and the resolution of darker emotions to surface. Regular practice of deep breathing and meditation calms the nervous system, making it easier to discern subtle changes in one's emotional state. In addition, journaling can capture fleeting thoughts and feelings, turning them into insights that guide personal growth. Engaging in creative activities such as painting, writing, or playing music can also serve as a pathway to explore these inner landscapes, unlocking channels of expression that translate emotion into art. Psychological strategies, including cognitive behavioral techniques, can help individuals challenge negative thought patterns and reinforce a more positive mindset. At the same time, therapeutic practices encourage self-compassion, ensuring that moments of inner hell do not lead to self-condemnation, but are instead seen as opportunities for healing. Furthermore, guided imagery and relaxation exercises tap into the subconscious, offering a gentle way to navigate both the luminous and shadowed aspects of our being. By experimenting with these practical methods in a safe and structured manner, you can gradually build resilience and deepen your awareness of your mental states. Each technique is a stepping stone, inviting you to explore the full spectrum of your inner experience. Whether through silent reflection or dynamic creative expression, these practices empower you to chart your own course towards a more balanced and fulfilling inner life. Incorporating these techniques into your daily routine can transform challenges into opportunities, helping you navigate the complexities of your inner world with greater ease. Step by step, each practice builds a bridge from turmoil to tranquility, empowering you to live with intention and clarity. Let every precious moment guide you toward renewal. Embracing the understanding of heaven and hell as states of consciousness offers a transformative path to personal growth. When you learn to cultivate inner peace and navigate through emotional storms, you begin to see life through a more compassionate and resilient lens. This transformation is not about denying the presence of darker aspects within, but about acknowledging them as integral parts of your being that, when integrated, create a more complete self. By recognizing the transient nature of both bliss and despair, you can choose to nurture those moments that elevate your spirit. With increased self-awareness come profound changes in behavior, relationships, and overall well-being. As negative patterns are identified and reformed, the inner paradise becomes more accessible, encouraging a shift toward positivity and balance. The process of transformation is gradual, requiring patience, introspection, and an openness to change. Each step taken on this journey reinforces the idea that personal empowerment arises from within, and that it is possible to rewrite the narratives of your inner life. The implications extend far beyond individual mental health, influencing how you interact with the world at large. When you operate from a space of inner alignment, your actions, decisions, and relationships reflect that harmony. In this way, nurturing your inner heaven can lead to a ripple effect that enhances not only your personal life but also the community around you. Each moment of self-discovery strengthens the bridge between your inner world and the vibrant life you are destined to create, with unwavering love. In conclusion, reinterpreting heaven and hell as states of consciousness opens new pathways for understanding our inner lives. This perspective transforms our view of existence, highlighting the power each individual holds to shape their emotional and mental landscapes. Heaven and hell are not external forces that control us, but reflections of our internal states shaped by our thoughts and emotions. By embracing this concept, we empower ourselves to cultivate inner peace, creativity, and resilience. The journey inward requires both courage and curiosity, inviting us to face our vulnerabilities and celebrate our potential for growth. As you continue to explore these realms within, keep in mind that every experience, joyful or painful, offers an opportunity for transformation. Let this awareness be a guiding light on your quest for personal harmony and well-being. Ultimately, the balance between your inner heaven and inner hell is a dynamic interplay that defines the richness of your life. Thank you for taking this journey of deep introspection and reflection, reminding yourself that each day is a chance to renew and rebuild your own sanctuary of light and understanding. May this insight inspire you to forge a life filled with self-discovery, compassion, and unwavering inner strength. Keep